second sack. The ball's loose, but it goes out of bounds. What an opportunity missed for the Bearcat defense. They're telling them to run the football. Nobody has whistled it dead yet. Cats are going to run it all the way down. They're whistling it dead now. It took them a while, but Matthew Dean chased him down. They broke the plane of the end zone with it just in case Bazell would have took it all the way down. But what a hit, Matthew Dean.
Someone was down on the ground.
They're going to mark it fourth down, but a loss.
Nonetheless.
Yeah, and that's going to force them to have to punt the ball. Waiting on the ruling on the field. Haven't got anything. They held up a fist there for fourth down, so I guess they're going to stick with that. Fourth down. They had to recheck what down it was. Marion will be forced to punt, so the Bearcat defense.
Man, how big would that turnover would have been, Dylan? I guess I can't go on what ifs and what could haves, but man, that'd been nice to have.
Coach Chris down there talking with the refs. You know, it'd be real nice to have a review in high school. I'm going to start pitching for that now. Let's go to the VHSL this summer and try to pitch for it. What do you think? Got plenty of film. We could get the microchip, the SD card, run it down off the film.
The video is so instantaneous now. Like, why don't we have it?
Sideline reporter could have a camera right here.
Yeah, see, we've been talking about having a sideline reporter here.
They're still talking about it. I think they're looking at the clock. Coach Chris wants to know. The ball did come out, but it was on the far side of the field, so we could not see what was happening very well from our vantage point on the near side. Coach Chris is going to call timeout before the clock gets up and running. He called the timeout there. They rolled it back down again. They're going to have to reset the game clock here. 2 seconds ran off the clock. We'll see. Coach Chris got the timeout. It brings up fourth down. So 2 timeouts now called by Virginia High. They're down to 1 left, and Marion's going to have to punt it away here. Ball's at the 48. 48 seconds. Mark, what do you think? You got an offense that can try to go over the top. What do you think?
Can I gauge the return before I say anything?
Yeah, gauge the return.
I think that's what I need to do. I think if you get a good return here, I think it's well worth
a try.
Yeah, I mean.
You got a kicker?
Got a kicker. You got a quarterback. You got receivers.
Hey, why not? It's a playoff game. It's win or go home. Right?
I mean, but you also, you get the ball at half. I mean, Brady just pointed that out. You get the ball at half. Like I said, I'm not going to make –
but I'll say this, Coach Chris called that timeout for a reason. I think he called that timeout more specifically for that number 7 for the Cats, Colton Ratcliffe.
Hey, okay, he blocks it, you're going all the way with it.
Yeah. So Ratcliffe going to line up actually about 5 yards off. He'll probably play around before the snap. He's become an easily recognized guy for this special team, so we'll see what Marion can do here as they'll try to boot it away.
That whole line just pointed at Colton Ratcliffe.
Back to the 36-yard line, the punter. As they get it off. It's a good punt, high punt, out to the 20. Bradley is going to try to return. Actually, this is Medley, and he gets out to the 30-yard line.
He got his clock clean.
A couple of guys converge there for Marion. Scary hits. Both of them getting up kind of slow. One of those Marion players, Devin Ham, a very important player. Also, 56.
Tom Blevins, too.
Yeah, and Blevins slow. Jacob Owens a little slow getting off the field. So now the Cats back to their own 30. 42 seconds on the clock and a timeout. I think you
give it a couple shots. I mean, can I gauge it after this play?
No more gauging.
Virginia has had 3 straight drives, -1 yard each time.
3 straight drives for the Cats, -1 yard each drive. But, hey, the fourth time might be the charm, as they say, right? So let's see. 42 seconds, plenty of time. We've seen them move it down pretty quick. 3 wide to the right. Howard in the backfield. Low snap. Lathrop dropping back. Plenty of time. He's got all the time in the world, but he's brought down. I think that was a smart
Bobby
call.
Medley over the middle, though.
As he goes down for the sack, Lathrop just held on to the ball, and that's probably the smart thing to do. But you'd love to see him turn one loose, wouldn't you, with these wide receivers?
Looks like we're calling a timeout.
Coach Christ is going to burn his last timeout. A few seconds ran off for you. 27 seconds left on the clock here until halftime. And
I guess if you don't use it,
if you get a play, you snap it. If you get a big play, you spike it. Try to get another.
Well, the clock stops, too, with chains.
Yeah, so takes them a little while. It'll depend on how long it takes Brad Carter down there to
he
reset
can take
the chains.
his
our
time.
buddy. Yeah, and he's a Bearcat through and through, so tell him to slow it down a little. His legs might be a little cold tonight, so we'll see.
You think it's hard to hold on to the football? Imagine holding that chain all night.
He's actually holding on to the down marker tonight, I see. So he's got plenty of layers on. I talked to Brad down there on the field. Brad, a living legend here in Bristol for the Cats and the Bristol Pirates. 27 seconds until half. Bearcats burn their final timeout of the first half, trailing 14-7. Ball's back after the sack at their own 27-yard line on the right hash. So Lathrop sort of swallowed that play, and you sort of hear it, eat it, whenever you get a ground ball and the shortstop bobbles it. That's what he did. So second down coming up after the sack. Timeout called by Chris was his final one. Now we're back set for action as the Cats will line up in the shotgun with under 30 seconds to go.
You got a lot of space on that outside receiver either side.
3 wide to the left. They're going to fake the play action. Now screen it off to the left. Carroll trying to get out of bounds. And he got
How did he not get by
bounds.
the face mask? Got completely drugged down.
It was close. He's definitely wanting the call for the face mask. 21 seconds. Cats are going to have to get some tempo going if they want to call a play. 21.3 on the clock.
Not only that, he wasn't out of bounds and the clock stopped.
Yeah, that's true. Well, we'll take it.
I mean,
he got 8 yards. It's 3rd down and 2. 21.3 on the clock. He did not get out of bounds, but they caught him out of bounds. So hey, we'll take it. Michael Howard going out wide to the left. No huddle in this time, so I don't know why you might send him out, but we'll see. 3rd and short, 21 seconds to go in the first half. Snap, Lathrop going back. He's under pressure, rolling out to the right
Got a
side,
hold
and
coming
a catch.
back.
As Davidson gets out near the 50,
It's a
he's out
hold.
of bounds, but a penalty. A holding on the offense.
I think now you just got to knee it and get out of here. I don't know how you don't call the face mask and then go for a holding call, Dylan.
That's Dawson Garrett, it looks like, or Daniel Venture. Either one of those guys. I'm not sure. I didn't get an eye on it. That's a huge penalty. And here's the stat of the night so far. Bearcats have a couple of penalties. Marion doesn't have a penalty at all. Marion, no penalties tonight, according to me. I don't know if Brady's got anything for Marion or not. But just 2 Virginia High penalties.
I know by the naked eye.
What about your naked mind is what I was wondering about. So, not my naked eye.
My naked arms are getting really cold.
14.3 on the clock, and one would imagine that play, even it got it past the 50 mark and got called back.
Seems to always be a recurring issue for this offensive line, Dylan.
Every time positive plays seems to end up coming
They're
in
either
reverse.
getting sponged or they're getting called back. I mean, every single time.
14 seconds on the clock, 7-point game lead for Marion. There's a snap. This is Howard
another
off
hold.
the edge and another flag. 8.6 on the clock. It
What
was
is the
3rd and
problem?
18. It was 3rd and 18. I believe now if you're Marion, you decline the penalty and make Virginia High punt it with 8 seconds on the clock.
There he is. Looks like he's going to, Coach Carroll.
Yeah, Virginia High didn't go out of bounds. Marion still has 2 timeouts left anyway, though. So one would think they would go for it. They would have.
I think if your Lane Carroll was booted out of bounds.
Penalty decline, so it'll bring up 4th down. Fans not happy with the refs tonight. And it's been a tough afternoon for this Bearcat offense. Trailing 14-7. They declined the penalty and they moved the ball back anyway. Now they're going to move it back up to where it was stopped, where the progress was stopped.
Here we go, Dylan.
8 seconds on the clock, and the Cats are going to send out the punt team. It's Jamie Lathrop and them. They got it up past the 50, but they're going to end up having to punt it as now Marion calls their second timeout, and will try to get their block team in order here with 8 seconds to go. Let's see. Again, this second quarter, it seems like the final 3 minutes of this thing was as long as the whole first half has been. 8.6 seconds on the clock. As Coach Christ out there talking to his special teams unit, and again, it's paramount here to get this thing off and get it deep down the field. If you're James or if you're Lane Carroll, you gotta really put something into it.
High flying. They can run this thing down like 3 gauge.
So Carroll will punt it. His feet back at the 15-yard line as Marion.
Well, everybody's ready but Marion.
And Marion's out there talking. Now they're going to have to blow the whistle to get these guys back out onto the field. 8.6 seconds on the clock. I would think everybody would be pretty excited to get into the locker room.
So what do you do here? I mean, do you punt it out of bounds? Do you try to squib it?
Yeah, if you're Carroll, the main thing is getting it off because they're bringing a few here. There's a snap. Carroll barely gets it off as it's punted and goes out of bounds at the 40, near the 40-yard line. 1.9, so that's good.
No penalties, and you got one play.
So now Marion will have a chance to heave it or try to bust a run loose with Ford. 1.9 seconds.
See if looks like.
See what Marion decides to do here. Wyatt's going to come out in the offense. Ford was going to come out, and he's going to play in the slot to the right side. 5 wide receivers, 3 to the left, 2 to the right. Marion does have a timeout if they want to burn it before this snap and try to get a look at what Virginia High is going to throw at them.
It looks like.
So Wyatt in the gun.
You got playing a prevent, but you got 3 on one side of the ball.
They're going to put Ford in motion, try to do the jet sweep. Breaks past one tackle, tries to get past another. He breaks it. He's up past the 50, and he's brought down at the 45, and that'll end the quarter. So Ford able to get loose for a few yards, but again, it won't really matter. That play was pretty much moot from the beginning after the handoff. Tried to get loose, but couldn't. 14-7, Marion leading as we head to half here in the first round of the VHSL playoff, and we'll have to see how the Cats respond. They are 0-3 when trailing at half. That was a big theme in this game. Could they get ahead before halftime going in, as they are 7-0 when leading at the half. So we'll see how they answer and respond. They'll have to if the season is going to continue past tonight. Again, the halftime report coming up next. We'll get you out some of the scores around the region and some of the local games. And, Mark, you got some final takeaways here for us from this first half?
I think the offensive line has got to step up and play good football. Jamie's got to be more consistent. We haven't had the big play that we needed yet, and I want to see some more of Aaron Rose in the backfield, Dylan. I think the defense has done a good job, other than the fact that the line hasn't been able to stop Kelby Ford as much as we had last time. But I guess you can't expect that.
Yeah, you can only stop it so much. So we've seen him get loose several times. So let's go to a quick break. We're going to go to our interview with Aaron Rose and Preston Schaefer. We interviewed him last week, so we'll go to that interview right now. And here at the halftime, in about 7 minutes, we'll be back on the air to talk about that first half, go to some scores around the area and in our region, and also we will talk about some things going on probably in these locker rooms. We'll go to Mark for those here later on. But with that, we'll be back for the halftime report. Bearcat Radio. Here's our interview with Aaron Rose and Preston Schaefer. 14-7, Virginia High trailing Marion at the half. Now joined by running back Aaron Rose. And Aaron, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
A lot bigger crowd than the first time that we met here. We were actually met on the other side. I think there was close to 30, but now I'd say we're almost back to the bathrooms covered with Bearcats.
Got a good amount.
Good amount, so definitely it's picked up, and we do thank everybody for coming out tonight for the playoff show. And Aaron, your junior season, you've had a great year so far. What is your mood and expectations for the team going into the playoffs now that this new season has begun?
My mood I'm just ready to go. Ever since last Friday on the way home from Richlands, as a team on the defensive bus, we were just ready to go, ready to start the new week and just get going. And as far as expectations, I expect my boys to play as hard as they can. I know they expect the same from me, and that's how it's going to be.
But we've deemed you the Energizer Bunny for this offense. When you come into the game, there's just a huge jolt that runs through it. What do you contribute to that?
I just play hard, play as hard as I can. I know the boys feed off of that. They see me play hard, and they're going to start playing hard. It's a domino effect.
Well, defensively, you lead the team with 100 tackles. How much do you put on yourself to make each play?
I really don't put a lot to make every play. There's 10 other guys out there on the field that are capable of making the plays that I do, and I trust in them. They trust in me.
So we've talked to everybody each week, and we know you hadn't been able to make it out because superstitions have been running rampant around here. And it's the general consensus, I don't know if you've been listening, that nobody likes to hit you. So I'll hit you. But
maybe you love to hit them is what it sounds like.
But Okay, so now it's your turn. Who is your favorite and least favorite person to hit on the team?
Well, I don't have a least favorite. I mean, I'm not scared of anybody, and favorite anybody that's across from me, that crosses my face. I just like to hit.
I know the answer to this one as well, but when you carry the ball, you just seem like you're so mad. Do you like being perceived as a guy that can run over and buy defenses?
I always have been ever since going back to when I was 8 years old. Always run hard, and that's what I've always been